we are going to be having a very detailed conversation for the next hour or less, depending on how this room goes. And we're going to be talking about commercial keywords. And I've been running a series and sharing with you information about how this works, why it works, and where it works the best for your business. Because a lot of times we use these things that we say, but we don't really know how it works until we're like, interesting. Maybe this is something that we need to check. Now, when you think about the long-term planning and the long-term effect of this, you'd actually be happy to know that when you create content, especially for your website, and you're thinking about commercial terms, these things will change, and I mean completely change the trajectory of your business, because there are ways that people search for information online, and most times this is the second most searched type of keyword. The first one is informational search. That's like, what time is it today? Where am I going? Where can I go? Is the sky blue? All these questions are informational based. They don't translate to money. They don't translate to monetary benefits, but they translate to information. And that contributes to about 70% of what you normally get. That's according to SE ranking. And second place in command is commercial with 22%. Third place is navigational search, which is at 7%. And last place, which is definitely not the least, is transactional, which is 1%, which makes sense. So when you think about top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, these are the things that we're referring to. So when we start thinking about commercial keywords, which we're going to talk about today at length, is where you want to be and where you want to see your business thrive on. Because when you start creating content for tomorrow, you start to realize that there are more opportunities that can come to you as a business because you have decided to create content that actually values the searcher. Because when you think about navigational search, things to do with Facebook login or your favorite businesses, privacy policy, you just don't know until you go there and check. If you're looking for, let's say, your favorite company or your favorite business or your favorite brand, and you want to check for their career page, that's a navigational search. Commercial search is like best accounting software for small businesses. It's going to be Nike shoes versus Adidas shoes. It's going to be best walking shoes for size 12. I'm a size 13, by the way. So if you check your sizes and you check, quickly looking for a solution that's going to help your search base more specific to the result, but also more advantageous to you, because now you're actually being more specific with your outcome, which allows you to be more specific with your income, if you want to put it that way. That's from a producer standpoint. From a consumer standpoint, if you are looking for things that you want to buy, most times commercial keywords is pretty much the difference between window shopping and actually purchasing. That's why transactional keywords contribute to 1% and commercial contribute to 22%. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into this in the next 55 minutes so you can learn about this. And if you have any questions, please put in the chat so we can talk about this as well. Thank you for being here on the set. Good to see you. Please cash in your ticket here in the marketing club. It would be good to have you here as a house member. Thank you for joining. It's been a while. Good to see you. Good to see you as well, Federico, Caleb. Good to see you as well, Reza, Coach Z. What's going down? Misfit Angel, thank you for being here. Aquemi, Danny, Carl, welcome to Clubhouse. I see you got a party hat. I hope you're enjoying yourself here on Clubhouse, whether it's day 1 or day 7. Thank you for being here as well. And Larry, thank you for being here too. What's up, Celeste? How are you? Have you been? Welcome to the room.
Hi, you know what? It's so funny. I was thinking about you this morning because today is like, I'm kind of having an off day. There's no such thing as an off day when you're a business owner, but it's kind of like a chill day. And I was like, oh, I wonder if Favor's going to do a room because last 2 weeks I've been like insanely busy. But yay, I'm so glad to see you. How are you?
I'm good. I've just been in and out of the world. I'm literally on the other side of the world right now, and it's like 11 p.m. where I am. I wish. I'm in Kenya right now.
Oh, wow. Okay, I need to go look on. I have kind of been off social media, but I need to go look on your Insta. Have you been posting?
Yes, I have. I actually came to Kenya because I came last week and came to celebrate my mom's 60th birthday, which was last week.
Oh, congratulate. First of all, what is going on? Okay, here we go. Congratulations, Mom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you go to my Instagram, you will see I posted like I think maybe 14 or 16 photos or so, videos. You can see like the compilation. It was really, really a fun time. Dressing up, glam, dancing, food. It was just a whole thing, a whole vibe. And it's been
Oh,
exciting.
I know we got, SEO stuff to talk about, but really quick, isn't the Giraffe Manor, isn't that in Kenya? Because, I need to go there.
The place called Giraffe Center here in Kenya. It's a beautiful place. Like you can literally feed the giraffe and just have a ball, just have a great time. And you have to go into like a park a little bit far out. And then there's a place called Carnivore if you want to like eat like game meat, where you can have like rabbit, you can have crocodile, you can have alligator, you can have all kinds of meats that you don't get on a regular time, and they cook it really good. It's really nice. So if you ever want to have an experience, come out here. They have a whole city that has beaches, white sands. Like this place is amazing. So people just don't know until you're like, oh, this is nice. Because I've lived in Kenya for about over 20 years. So I've been in about 3 countries, Nigeria, Kenya, and the United States of America. So kind of like I'm always rotating around those 3 countries. But it's always great to be here. I also speak the language. I speak Swahili. So it's just great to be out here and just connect with people. And then I'll be back, God willing, very soon, and then get back into the regular program. But I've been out here. That's why I've not been on Clubhouse much, because I've been spending time with family. But I said, hey, I got to do this because I have to make my promise and keep it, so I can keep going and make sure you guys are here. So for you to be thinking about me today was just perfect timing.
Amazing. And the thing I post about, the thing I asked about, I put in the chat, the Giraffe Manor. It's like a hotel. I kept seeing all these clips online of like people that just be enjoying their morning coffee, and then a giraffe just pokes their head in the window and says hi. Gotta go. I gotta go.
It's a whole scene. They got something like that too. Yeah, out here, different places. You can literally have a whole vibe and enjoy yourself, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And then when you take it all in, you're like, yeah, man, there's life out here in the world. Like we can't just be boxed into one place, but it's always good to explore and be in different places and just enjoy yourself. So yeah, this is a whole vibe out here, and I'm glad I was able to, spend some time with fam. At the same time, do some things here because I'm opening some things as well, and it's been a whole great experience. So definitely, whenever you want to come out here, Celeste, just let me know, and I'm gonna plug you in and I'll let you know who you can talk to, so you don't feel like you're alone, because this place is beautiful and the hospitality is A1.
Oh, I'm gonna hold you to that, friend, for sure.
Sure, let's go. Let's go. For those who are hearing you for the first time, please let them know who you are and what you do, and just give them a little rundown. And before I say that, Miss Fit, Coach, thank you so much for the party hats and also for the celebratory emojis. I appreciate y'all. I wanted to just shout y'all out as well.
Hey y'all. Okay, for those who don't know me, I'm gonna make this very short, but I literally have had a life-changing change due to SEO. I used to be like a super struggling single mom with a job I absolutely hated. Well, I discovered like, oh my gosh, I can rank my ugly website on Google. And people are like, for the service that I provide in my area. And once I learned how to do that, literally it 10x'd my business. So now I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I run a company where we pretty much do like kids entertainment services, but we specialize in face painting. Yes, face painting. Can you believe that I have a face painting business that grosses close to $300,000 a year? And no, I do not personally make that because I have a whole team of people and they get paid very well. But, this a couple weeks ago, we set a record by making like close to 30K in 1 week. 1 week. So I said all that to say, lean into the information that Favor and I are going to share today because it really is a game-changing strategy. Especially, I know a lot of people think, oh, face painting, it's, birthday parties. 90% of our clientele are corporate clients. So when we talk about commercial keywords, this is my claim to fame, y'all. So I'm so happy to get into the conversation. And I will pass it back to you.
Thank you, Celeste, and cha-ching on you too.
Yes.
SEO is A, B, C, D, E, F, the whole 26 letters of the alphabet. And I'm like, guys, let it breathe. Let it sink in, let it marinate, and let it just happen organically. When you let a relationship happen organically than letting it being forced, you have a different outcome because you feel like, wow, this was actually meant to be. Because sometimes you talk to somebody, you don't know if it's going to work, but when it works, you're like, I'm glad we got here. So it's that organic response people like, and most people just run ads because they want to get that fast response, which is totally fine. But I always say, do not run ads if you've not spent time organically. Do not run ads if you've not spent time organically, because if you're running ads and you're testing, you could have been saving that money while doing something organically. So when you actually run ads, you actually predict and forecast your sales and your revenue cycle than you just throwing money in the air, which you can. It's all by your decision. I don't know what to tell you, and I wouldn't tell you what to do with your business or your money. But what I will say is, if I were you, I wouldn't do that, because I just know that you can save more money, you can have more impact, and then do an organic campaign, then find the one that does best within a 30-day cycle, and then you can now start running ads. But people kind of do the opposite and never do organic at all. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Celeste, because it takes time to build. But if you're being very specific with your commercial intent, then those search signals actually start to favor your business, start to give you more credit, start to give you more credibility, and ultimately you now become the source that allows more people to find you in a more realistic setup. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Celeste. And thank you, Danny, for the coins. Appreciate you for that. Always want to say thank you and appreciate you for the kind gesture. So today, guys, we're going to talk about this topic. This topic is so important. So important, because if we don't talk about this now, at some point you'll be like punch in the air, and I don't want you to do that. I want you to save your time, save your money, save your energy, and understand that when you think about keywords, especially commercially based keywords, you want to think about how your website shows up organically for search results that people can find you for based on what they need. So if you think about your business today, the only reason why you're showing up for commercial intent keywords or commercial keywords for your business is because you have placed certain metrics and certain things that allow you to become seen because of what you are describing. I'll give you all an example, a very live example. We work with a client and they make about between $40,000 a week through $40,000 a month. This is on average. And this was before this was happening. They were doing that organically because they have about 5 locations in the US and in 5 different states. But they were not making money online. They were making money on Amazon, but they were paying Amazon for service fees that they were losing on their profit. So they said, okay, yes, let's make money on Amazon, let's make money in store, but we also need to make money on our website. So that's what they came to me for. And we spent about $5,000 to $10,000. That was the budget. And now they're making $40,000 week over week, month over month. So when you think about the range in what somebody is making compared to what you're investing, people think it's a lot of money until you get a lot of money and you're like, oh, that wasn't a lot of money, but you could have spent that same $5,000, $10,000 on ads and probably not have gotten that same amount of money in return over time. But what we decided to do was be very specific. So if you guys go to Google, just to give you like a live case study, go to Google right now and type in Hobby Lobby alternatives. Just go there and write Hobby Lobby alternatives. You're going to see an article that I wrote, and that article has been there for weeks, for months now, because this happened earlier this year, we're in July, so we're going to August. And earlier this year, I said, let's do something commercially, because they're like a Hobby Lobby, they're like a Home Depot, they're like a Joann's, and I think Joann's is closing, I believe. If this hasn't happened, guys, please do your research. But I found about 15 different stores that are like theirs. And I said, okay, let them all match and fit into this lineup so that if you're looking for Hobby Lobby alternatives, you can find that specific brand in that search result. Now, you're not going to see hobbylobby.com if that's the logo, if that's the domain, but you're going to see a business that's talking about their business. So now you wonder, oh, if I say Hobby Lobby, does it mean that I'm giving Hobby Lobby business? No, subjectively, because when you look at that website and you look at that webpage specifically, you realize that none of those brands were linked. None of them. The only brand that was linked was the one that came from the same website that you're looking at based on the search results on Google. So that was very strategic, and it's a case study I'm giving you. But now someone can say, oh, I'm just going to pick any brand, talk about anything, and there you go. No, it's not going to work like that. It's not a cookie cutter thing. You have to think about how the brand is also going to attain to the action. So when you start thinking about commercial intent keywords, which I told you guys earlier, it contributes to about 22%. And knowing that keywords are everywhere, right? You can use SEMrush, Ahrefs, you can use Ubersuggest, you can use Moz, use what you want to use. And there are other tools as well you can use too, and find your keywords. But here's the thing, here's the kicker. There are about 8.5 billion searches a day on Google. And Google changes their algorithm at least 8 times a day. And then if you go a little bit deeper into that, there are over 50 billion searches on the internet across all search engines plus social media. The ones that are attributed like Reddit or like LinkedIn or Instagram, they're all attributed to about, even TikTok, about 50 plus billion. So imagine 50 billion searches a day. On Google alone is 8.5 billion. And 22% of that commercial intent is about 1.9 billion searches a day. Now, if you even have 0.01% of that search, and you are the person that they're referring to, especially if your business is local, regional, national, or international, your business could rank on Google search for the right reasons because you have articulated exactly what people are searching for. So if I come and say, oh, I'm looking for alternatives to Amazon, you're going to find Temu, you're going to find all these other different results. I'm looking for alternatives to Google Maps. You might find Apple Maps, you might find Waze Maps, right? You can't find those things outside of the brands that are being represented themselves. So the idea is to create content on your website. Listen to this. The idea is to create content on your website and then link it back to the search engines. And now that we're actually talking about this now, this is a perfect time to even discuss this. There's something that just happened recently. It's been in beta mode for a while, but now I'm sure you've heard me talk about Google Search Console, which is the internet service provider for Google. So what Google has done now is that they've actually integrated social media to your website. So let's say you have a business and your business has a LinkedIn profile, it has a YouTube channel, it has an Instagram account. Those accounts have your name on it because in those accounts, your website is linked to those pages. You don't own Instagram, you don't own YouTube, you don't own LinkedIn, but you own your page on those platforms. That's what they call second party data because you don't own it, but you control it. So if you can control it and you can control what you put out there, then the algorithm is going to pick up on what you put down. So when you start creating content on social media and you're tagging it back to your website, You have a LinkedIn post, you link it back to your web page, not just your home page, but an exact page that is contextually related to what you're discussing. Then you start to get more attraction, retention, attention to your base. So when you start thinking about these things long term, you can now start actually finding results. For instance, on Instagram, whenever you post something on Instagram, if it's a reel, it's going to be instagram.com/reel/your post, right? You're going to get an alphanumeric character. If it's going to be a post on Instagram, it's going to be instagram.com/p, right? /post, or whatever the alphanumerical character is. Now, when you start going to your website on Search Console and then you're looking for exact matches that are like /p/, you can start to see the results you get on Instagram that show up on Google for your business. Now, imagine you're doing commercial e-commerce, whether it's a product or service business, and you're putting out content for people to see. Or here are the best 5 tools to use for 2026. Here are the best 5 AI content writers for ABC. Here's the best. That's commercial. Whenever you're looking for a restaurant near me, that's commercial. When you're looking for cheap flights, or you're looking for first class tickets to Qatar, whatever you're looking for, those are commercial. Why is it commercial? Because you're window shopping online. You're looking for the best. You don't go to a store or a mall or an office or a restaurant if you didn't think that was the best place you could be, because you'd rather be at a better place than where you are if you had the option to. How do you know that? Because you have reviews, you have case studies, you have videos, you have referrals, you have accountability, you have people who are raving about it, and that's what makes you want to go there. That's the only reason. So if you have a reason to be in a place because you feel like this is the best place to be, it's because somebody went there before you, and now you can talk about it after you leave. Now that commercial intent is what you now go to your website and talk about and say, hey, here are the best places to visit for a romantic date night with your spouse or with your lover or with your significant other. Before you go into those details, you have experienced them at each level, because you're able to understand, oh, okay, this makes sense. Okay, I understand this, I understand that. So when you start realizing that these are the best things to do, for instance, what are the best colognes to wear for a date night, right? You can now decide, okay, this is what I need to wear, this is what I need to have, this is what I need to put on, because you know that it's going to bring a certain type of scent or a certain type of feeling to the room. So when you start thinking about these specific keywords, at best is not the only thing too. You can do verses, you can do alternatives like I gave you, you can do comparisons, you can do all kinds of things. It's really based on to you. When you start thinking about these things and being more specific with your results, how you'll know that this thing is working is when you end up getting a lot of pings and signals and dings, right? That'll sound like this. When you start noticing that your page is starting to get a lot of those sounds, it means that you have something to offer. If I say, here are the best apps for fitness, right? Here are the best apps for prayer guides, or here are the best Bible apps for 2026. Whatever you're going to get is as a result of what you have put into the context. So people say commercial. Yeah, it's commercial, but do you have anything commercial to show? No. If you don't, then create something. If you do, then scale on it. Because businesses are thriving because other businesses are using them. Give you instance, TripAdvisor, Yelp, Wedding Wire. There are so many out there I can mention who have capitalized on other people's successes to now be able to become the top reference because they've been focusing on those things. Tell me one time you've talked about going to the best hotels and you don't see a Yelp result. You're always going to see a Yelp result because Yelp has said, here are the best 10, blah, blah, blah. When you notice that, you realize, okay, they're being commercial. Why? Because you're going to scan, you're going to find, you're going to click, you're going to save, you're going to search, you're going to think, you're going to process, you're going to analyze, and then you make a decision. So by the time you're making that decision, you've gone through so many different options and you're like, I don't like this. Oh, I like this, but, oh, I like this, but. Those buts are becoming a lot because you're realizing, okay, there's something better. So when you realize what you like, because you like what you like, and you have every right to like what you like, But when you decide on what you like, you're going to stick to what you like. So those are the things that you have to think about as a business so that you don't fall off the bandwagon. You don't just fall off because, oh, I got a keyword today. Okay, keywords work. Yay. But if these keywords are not working, it's because you're not working the platform. That's the difference. So commercial keywords are so important for your business because the more you're able to give people a reason to come back, the more you stay on top of their mind. I'd love for you to break this down for us, Celeste. What do you think about this when you hear commercial keywords and how the businesses use it, just in your experience in your field as well? And what's up, John? Glad to have you here too.
Hey John, welcome. Okay, so first of all, I loved what you shared. I think a lot of times businesses have a hard time with keywords in general, and then especially like what is a commercial keyword. I know in the beginning when I first hopped in, you were talking about like transactional keywords versus informational keywords versus commercial keywords. I always like to simplify this and say, hey, a commercial keyword is what people put in when they're ready to buy, when they're ready to purchase, when they're ready to add to cart. It's not like, how do you make it's no DIY. They're like looking for something to buy. So that's why this to me is what every business should be leaning into to figure out what are those keywords for your business. And here's another thing, which, I teach a lot of like super basic SEO classes for people who are just getting into SEO. Talking about schema or any other, crazy stuff, just basic 101. And the biggest thing I try to get people to understand is, hey, we are not going to guess here what people are typing in. I think it's very easy as business owners for us to make assumptions about like, oh, yeah, my ideal client is this, or, this is probably what they're putting in. There is super low level software that you can use for free to figure this out. It's funny because I do a lot of SEO research, and I'd say, actually, I'm not going to put a number on it, but a lot of times I'm thinking someone's putting in the data is saying it is something similar, but not exact. Like, I don't know if I told y'all one time, I forgot what I put in. Like, I was helping another face painter because, a lot of face painters reach out to me and they're like, oh, let's do SEO research. And I think I put in like face painting, New York City, something like that, right? Close, but more commonly people are putting in NYC, right? It's very specific. Sometimes, you might think, oh, they're putting in real estate broker, Los Angeles, but really it could be, Los Angeles real estate broker, same words, different order. So keep in mind, Google is very specific. You have to literally treat it like a kindergartner and tell them this is exactly what I want to rank for, but you do not want to make these decisions without the data. I say this all the time. CEOs and business owners should make data-driven decisions. So do some research before you, just guess about this, because you never know. You might do a lot of work for, nothing. And one last thing that I love about keyword is sometimes a keyword that could be a good keyword, right? Sometimes it has a little bit higher of a competition score. What does that mean? That means the people who are also trying to rank for the same keyword. You might find the slightly different, just a little tiny variation in the exact same keyword with like half of the battle for the keyword that you were trying to rank for, meaning it has like a much lower difficulty score. I find this all the time. Like, it's what I call the magic keyword. So listen, I can go on and on about this, but I will land the plane there. So I hope that helps someone. Back to you, Favor.
Thank you, Celeste. That was spot on. I appreciate you for breaking that down, because these keywords are very good to use, but we also need to know how to use them. Like you said, with the keyword difficulty, if everyone is ranking for marketing, of course, you're not going to rank for marketing, just the word marketing, because it has a high competition value. But if you now say small business email marketing, now you're being more specific with the kind of people you want to attract. It changes everything. If you talk about enterprise real estate marketing, now you're thinking about it on a different level. If you're talking about mid-size fill in the blank marketing, maybe digital marketing or content marketing, you start to change those things, because when you think about a long tail keyword, it's most times, more often than not, the last word that actually matters the most. Most people think it's the first one. Yeah, because that's the trigger, that's the modifier, but the last word is what keeps you in the loop. That's why if that last word is in your slug, which is your uniform resource locator as a URL, then that's what people end up finding you for. Because if you change marketing and replace it with advertising, you have a whole different set, like Celeste said. So you have to really think about what you're putting at the last point, just like you are thinking about it on the first point. John, what are your thoughts on that when you think about commercial, and how do you find it resourceful for your business?
Well, I've been very keyword heavy for a long time. I do not understand the difference between commercial keywords and regular keywords, because I'm not selling something, so that might be why. I said this, it took, in my podcast, it took 7 years to get 1 million downloads. Where now it's 18.5 million, and the rest have come in 8 and 9. So that's the power of keywords. And a biggest problem I have with podcasters in particular is they don't focus on keywords. They don't see the value in it. And I try to explain to them all the time, if you want to get discovered, you want to increase it. If you're not talking about paid advertising, you've got to find some and focus on keywords, and be honest about your guest name, leading off your guest name. If it's not heavily searched, there's a really good chance they're not going to find that episode. It might be a life-changing episode for the consumer and for you as well. But it's only as good as discoverability. So keywords are very important. And I always found I use Yoast SEO keyword tools and part of Podpage, and the slug, it needs to match the keywords used. That's one of the tips they have. And you need to have the keywords or the title repeated in the first line, in the first paragraph of your show notes, and repeated throughout, so you get some keyword stacking in there. You don't want to be keyword heavy, but you don't want to be stuffy, but you want it to stack it somewhat. So that's just my 2 cents worth. So back to you, Favor.
Okay, I asked
Thank
a
you,
question.
John. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
To John. Just, and I know the answer is like a rhetorical question, but for the audience, because I know a lot of times we have people in the audience who like, slug, what? Can you explain the process of changing a URL slug, and how difficult is it to do that?
You broke up pretty bad. I got like every other word you said. Can you repeat it again, Celeste?
Yes, we can hear you.
Just for the audience sake, just because, a lot of our audience members are like very basic SEO 101. Can you explain kind of like how difficult is it to change a URL slug? I know the answer to this, but I just want to make sure that they hear it from you. So yeah, go ahead.
Using the platform I use is not difficult at all. What I would say is this: if you have, for example, the slug is your URL. So mine would be letradio.com / whatever the URL is. And there's going to be some hyphens in between that. So let's just say I want to start, the existing one is Gary hyphen talks about hyphen policing. And we want it to be more impactful, and we use keywords. You want the keywords to be repeated in the slug. At least that's what I strive for. So the exact same thing, and you want to have the total length of URL. I can't recall exactly what it is, but it's limited on the characters. You don't want it to be too long, but you want to have what the most impactful, the highest search ability on the keywords is what I use, and that for me makes all the difference in the world. So hopefully that answers your question. I know it's kind of a roundabout answer.
That was perfect. Over to you, Favor.
Thank you, John. Yes, the hyphenated words are so important, because that's really where your library is stored, if you really think about it that way. Because all the slugs, let's say you have 100 episodes, 1,000 episodes, you technically have 100 pages, 1,000 pages. And each of those pages are based on the words that you use in the title. For instance, with LinkedIn, if you go to LinkedIn, you create a newsletter, whatever words you put in that actual title of that newsletter turns into the URL for that specific newsletter. So if you start writing gibberish, that's what the URL is going to come out with. If you start writing, that's garbage in, garbage out. But if you do wisdom in, wisdom out, or value in, value out, then you can realize, okay, I need to be more specific, because the first word and the last word are very important. Because if you talk about case study or poll or best or alternatives or comparisons, whether you're putting them in brackets or you're putting them as the first or the last word, that's what people are going to be searching from the first. So if I say I'm looking for alternatives to Canon photography or Canon cameras, if I have the word Canon cameras in my slug, it's because it showed up in my title first. You can customize your slug, but that doesn't happen all the time. Because let's say you want to have a different slug with a different title and match the keywords, you have to do it double. Because on LinkedIn, you have to create a URL after you have created a title. So let's say you want a different title, but you want another URL entirely, then you want to write the actual keyword in your title, and then you create the URL, and then you go back to your title, and then you change your title because the URL has been stamped, or they call it a permalink, or rather a permanent link. So when you create those links, those are the links that are linking you to the people who are searching on the search boxes. When you go to google.com, there's a search box. When you go to yandex.com, there's a search box. When you go to DuckDuckGo, there's a search box. When you go to brave.com, there's a search box. When you go to bing.com, there's a search box. Even when you go to Instagram, there's a search box. TikTok, there's a search box. These search boxes, even Clubhouse has a search box, because those boxes have data. They have a database. They have resources. So the more resources you fill into your website, because you're being more specific with your keywording, then you get more filters out, because you become more of a variant to different resources that puts you in a position to actually stand out. And the best part is, if you start interlinking these pages, that's a great thing, because now someone can go down a rabbit hole because you have more content to offer than just one. Back in the day, you could just have one article ranking for one thing, but now you need at least 10. Of course, you can do more than one, do 2, do 3, do 4. But if you really want to dominate, like monopolize the whole thing, yeah, do 10. But for you to do 10, you need to do 10 quality. I would rather do 1 quality than 10 terrible, because you want to have quality over quantity, and also keep the quality with assurance, knowing that people are going to come from any looking corner and find that one thing, and also justify it based on what you've told them. So everyone is right here. Celeste is right. John is right. When you think about these keywords, don't just show up for them. There's some keywords that cost $200. There's some that cost 2 cents. So it really depends on what you want to put out there for someone to find you. And also ask yourself, is this keyword resourceful? Is it valuable to me? Is it reliable? Is it accessible? Is it monetary based? Is it just informational based? Is it a keyword? Great. Then you put that keyword into the density format. So you know that you're not just saying keyword 30 times when the average is 10. So you have to think about those things long term, and also understand exactly where they're coming from. Out of these 8.5 billion searches we have per day on Google, about 15% of those searches are new. Super new. So every day we're getting technically about 1.3 billion searches, right? And if you do 22% times 1.3 billion, you get about 286 million. So imagine there are 286 million commercial keywords that show up newly every day. Think about that. So if you have a business and you have keywords that you're ranking for locally, regionally, nationally, internationally, and you're describing and telling people, here are the best apps for this, here are the best softwares for this, here are the best restaurants for this, here are the best colognes for this, here are the best tools for this, here are the best AI servers for this. Whatever you're putting out there is going to come back, because people who are searching for those things will find you. And when they find you resourceful and they like you, they'll stay. So you start realizing your article is not just a book. It's not just a scroll. It's not just a doom scroll. Now it's turning into an actual high value content offer. HVCO. So You realize that because you're now creating content, and right in the middle of your content, you're saying, do you want more information like this? Sign up to our email list and join our exclusive community to learn more about this. If you click the link above this room, right now where it says need actionable marketing resources, book a call with me, you can do three things. You can either book a call with me for a website or for SEO marketing, or you can get on the newsletter and get information like I share here, or you can join the We Don't Play podcast show and listen to our 700 episodes. Now, when you think about these things, you realize, oh, there's a lot of information here. And the best thing about this is that when people find your content, especially if they find it valuable the first time and you've impressed them, they're going to look for other things that you've said that's going to even impress them more. And now you have a fan. Now you have a super fan. So you're not just creating content because you want to rank. You're creating content because you want to serve. The more you serve, the more people you give, the more you show up for them, the more they show up for you. That's really it. That's really the binary code. But it takes work. It takes action. It takes discipline. It takes consistency. And that's what a lot of people don't like to do. So if you're consistent, either you're hiring it out, delegating it, reaching out to someone like me, we can work with you. We make it happen. We show you how it's done. We do it for you. We show you what to do so we don't have to do it for you all the time, but show you exactly what you need to do so that when you need to get it done, you're not looking helter-skelter. You're in a good position. Then you're great. We can work with you for 4 weeks, for 12 weeks, for 24 weeks, out of a year, plus, depending on how you want to do it. And that's going to help you understand those things long term. So when you start thinking about it, you're like, okay, now it makes sense. Why am I spending 3 hours on YouTube when I could have spent 30 minutes on a call, and now you saved yourself 2 hours, 30 minutes, you can do something else that's valuable. So it's really up to you. The time is yours. The money is yours. But what you do with it really determines exactly what you get out of it. So that's why I talk about these things consistently and share with you these things so you don't lose track, because I want to make sure that I'm helping you in a way that you can see clearly. So when we have conversations like this, you're not lost. It's not going over your head. You want to understand, okay, that's what he said and that's what he did. So I can do it too, because I can say the same thing to the next person. Celeste, did you want to say something?
Yes. So I just wanted to point out, now listen, I am not trying to do a sales pitch, okay? Actually, I'm not personally taking SEO clients. It's going to sound like a sales pitch, but it's not. You can book favor though. But I just want to make sure that I bring in this point. I cannot tell you how many websites that I have looked at in the past, beautifully designed, great flow, like everything's there, and it's just not SEO optimized. Like it's just, they don't know, like, all right, I can just do some simple keyword research, put keywords in very strategic places that signal Google, like, hey, Google, rank me for this, right? I have done this in real time with people where, even the website, it might be like, oh, it needs a little design work. But guess what? It ranked on Google. Like literally for myself, if you know how to use Google Search Console and you know how to submit, indexing on your own, a lot of times you can rank. If you find very low level keywords, again, this really has to depend on your competition. How much competition do you have? But a lot of you are in niche industries where you have these niche keywords you can use to where you could rank on Google the next day. Okay, I've done this for myself. Okay, so I know this is real. Okay, I built a page on my website, something super niche, y'all. Like it did not have a high difficulty score. And the next day it ranked, I think it was like the third position on Google organically when you search those keywords. So I'm just saying all that to say, I know a lot of times, especially when we talk about SEO, it sounds like rocket science. It does to someone who doesn't have a lot of technical know-how. Like it really sounds like, what, huh? Foreign language. But getting someone like Favor, I'm plugging Favor in, y'all. He doesn't pay me for this. To do a low level consult for you, even if you want to go do the work yourself, right? You still need someone to help you figure out the X's and O's. Like it will literally change the trajectory of some of your businesses. Like I've seen this. So I just want to make sure I put that in there because I know sometimes it's like, oh, you got to be consistent. You got to do this every day. With SEO, it's really, to me, it's not that. It's like a one-time exercise that you do have to check on and analyze, your analytics and your data. But to me, it's easier than social media. You'll make a post and the next day that post is dead. Okay. So you got to keep posting every day, every day, every day. Like SEO is not like that. So I just wanted to make sure I put that in because I know you're kind of touching on that, but Y'all have so many client stories I could share in another room, but yeah, we don't have to make this hard. We just need to have the right strategy. So I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Celeste. That's a big one. Like, you think about these things long term, and like you said, I would do websites and blogs and content every day. If I had to choose between that and social media, I would definitely do that every time. Because imagine you're getting so much free traffic. Imagine just being in the middle of a road. There's so much traffic and you don't know what to do with this traffic. It's like saying you have a lot of money and you don't know what to do with it. You're going to lose it. You're going to spend it. You're just going to waste it. Same thing with traffic. You can waste your traffic because you don't know how to direct traffic. You don't know how to navigate traffic. And that's where discipline comes in. That's where concentration comes in. That's where focus comes in. So when you think about these things, you ask yourself, oh, how much do I get in traffic every year? Can you analyze that? Can you say what that looks like to you? Can you look at your conversion rate and say, okay, I have 10,000 people that come to my website every day or every year, and this is how much I get out of that. Can you track it? That's important, because these commercial keywords we're talking about today are definitely not just for SEO. It's for your whole digital ecosystem. Why? Because if these keywords are working on Google, they're definitely going to work on social media. They're definitely going to work on your email. They're definitely going to work on ads. So SEO is your testing ground. And if you don't test, how will you know? How will you know? So don't just guess, test. The more you test, the better you evaluate, the better results come, and the better you're able to see the outcome. And even Tracy said it in the chat. She said this in the chat, and thank you for saying this, Tracy, because I want people to hear it from other people outside of us. Tracy said in the chat, I started focusing on less competitive niche keywords to start gaining rank traction. That's amazing. It's working 6 months later. Let me ask you this, Tracy. You can either come up, let us know, but do you feel like those 6 months were worth your time? Do you feel like it was worth the wait? Because some people say, oh, I got to wait 6 months. You're going to have to wait 6 months, because if you're still living and breathing, you're going to have 6 months of your life to live from 6 months from now, right? 6 months from now is what, January? So you're still going to end up being in January if you get there by God's grace. The idea is for you to focus and ask yourself, okay, I'm going to take 6 months to get here. But imagine if I spend 6 minutes or 6 hours doing something that will last me 6 years. Why would you not do it? Why would you not take that chance? It's a high risk, high reward, and it doesn't cost you anything. What it's probably going to cost you is your time, but do you have time for it? That's the real question. So congratulations to you, Tracy. Hats off to you. Big deal. JL, would love to hear from you. Thoughts, comments, questions, feel free. It's been a minute. How you doing? Good to hear from you, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, Favor, thank you so much. And Celeste, great to hear your really thoughtful words. John, hello. So I'm in this interesting predicament where, I feel like I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, but I do know how to segment markets really well. So I found a market that is a blue collar service industry. And I think that this industry is in all of our neighborhoods, and you just don't pay attention to it because you use it once every 3 to 6 years at best. And but when I'm looking at it, I realize that this industry pulls in about $5 billion a year, and nobody is doing anything meaningful in terms of technology and providing services for these men, like these folks, to run their businesses. So I went off on a limb, solopreneur, and I used AI to build a tool for them to better run their business. But on the consumer side, I also realized that there's a huge opportunity for, some SEO plays as well as with the serviceman. So you can probably take over the whole market if you got some money in here. All this to say, I didn't feel like I had the skill set to do a lot of this stuff, but I did. Now I think that with AI, things just kind of come down to marketing and execution on the product, mostly marketing though. So I got about 6 weeks ago, I start taking SEO like crazy serious. I took all the tips that you guys are giving. I started interlinking between sites. I start looking at the low hanging through keywords, which, to be fair, in this industry, it was almost all of them. Almost all of them except the ones that the consumers care about. Everything was low hanging. So it was like perfect, right? Within 6 weeks, the keyword that I cared the most about, within 6 weeks, because I started doing the SEO. No, it's more than 6 weeks. It's 8 weeks. But I started doing the SEO May 29th. As of about a week ago, I went from ranking 58 to number 8 in that keyword in just 2 months of really playing around with the site. And I got ranked number 1 in a bunch of keywords that I just did not expect to. I didn't expect to really get keyword. I didn't expect to get keyword traction for like another 2 or 3 months. And I'm like so happy my thesis worked, because I'm so scared, because I know nothing about this industry and it's so scary. The only reason I got into this industry is because I saw the keywords were ranking and nobody's really paying attention to these servicemen. So I was like, let me try. But the marketing game is going to be everything. So I want to say it's still working. Like, the stuff is still working. So I agree with you all.
Wow. This is a huge testimony. Thank you, JL. Congratulations to you. I got to give you one too.
Yes, that was just the story I needed to hear today. Listen, I caught what you put down, JL. I caught it. You got a gold mine on your hands, friend. I'm excited for you. Please keep us updated.
Absolutely will.
This is good. I love this, because once you do these things, it's either you're going to do it yourself or you're going to let someone do it for you. But either way, it got to be done. And JL, you're such in a, what do you call these oceans? Deep blue oceans right now. You're not in the red ocean, you're in the deep blue ocean, because once they start to see your name, search, go online, check your LinkedIn, check your website, check your pages, check your emails, it's just going to get easier for them to have that interaction with you. And now you're building that trust. And then if Google trusts you, they're going to trust you too. So it's like a win-win. Moving from 58 to 8 is huge, because you're technically saying you've moved from page 6, like bottom of page 6, to bottom of page 1. And that contributes to about 25% on the first page of Google, because the first 3 links contribute to about 75%. So from 1 to 3 is 75%, and 4 to 10 is 25%. So you're in the 25 percentile, and you can still go up to 75% if you want to, which you will. So imagine 6 weeks from now, 8 weeks from now, you'll be telling us, hey guys, remember what I told you? I was 8, now I'm 1, 2, 3. And now it's ABC for you, because you've done it over and over and over and over and over and over again. So it's a matter of just sticking to the plan. It's not hard, like you said, but people think SEO is hard, but you just have to be focused and then try it out for yourself and see. And it works. It super works, because Google is not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere either. But if you want to stay, great. On my end, I'm getting to see a lot of people looking for dental SEO. So guess what? That's where I'm moving to now, because I realized, okay, people want to work on their teeth. People want to focus on whatever they're looking at in the dentist office. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to help more businesses that are in the dentistry industry to focus on getting more clients, because they're looking for people locally to work on their teeth. So like you said, these industries are so many. It just depends on exactly where you want to rank. And once you're able to put the map in place and the blueprint is there, there's no way you're not going to rank. Absolutely no other way. So congratulations to you. And I love that. I can't wait to hear more of success stories like this. And JL, when you did this, what was coming to your mind week 1 compared to what you see week 8?
Week 1, I was thinking that the quality, I was just making sure I was doing it right, because it is a, what do we call this? A lagging indicator, right? The investment that you make today, it's going to take, if you're just starting out, it'll take at minimum a month or 2. And then, a maximum, hopefully within a year, but you have to start. And when you start, you want to focus on quality and not quantity. I knew that. I've seen it with some of my other companies, but I'm an expert in that industry, so that's different. This, I'm not an expert. I'm a novice. I'm learning as I go, and that's what was the scary part. But the SEO kind of rules, they still play. And here's the other thing that's really interesting. AI made every page for me. AI made every single page for me. I didn't do anything. I just made sure the quality was like top tier. It was better than anything else on the internet. And when certain pages start getting traction, and then those are the pages I cared about, I start going back to AI and saying, okay, this is an 8.0 out of 10. How do I make it a 9 out of 10? And then I go back 2 weeks later, more traction. This is a 9.0 out of 10. How do I make it a 10 out of 10? Until I can't make it any better. So I just kind of kept applying those rules, but it's 100% AI made.
Celeste, do you want to say something about this?
I am just personally like, I think, the funny part is I'm so glad you came up, JL, because sometimes I feel like I'm just like banging on people's head, like, hello, listen to me, do what I'm saying. Because I was just talking to a friend about how, like, if I give one more person some SEO advice and they don't take, I'm gonna like build a website and be their competition. It's like, the fact that you just kind of, it sounded like it was like a happy accident that you came across this super niche industry with a very high income earning, potential. And you're like, oh, I see a gap here. And you filled the gap. And that's exactly what strategy I love, because you're not just out here like guessing like, this, that. You actually did research. And I heard the part about how you invested time to actually learn to make sure you were taking the correct steps. And I could go on and on about all the things that could come from this. I'm sure you know, so I'm not going to bore you. But what I wanted to say is that, some of the biggest industries out here, because I know you mentioned like, this is an industry I don't know a lot about, but, I'm able to fill in the gaps with like the marketing on both the consumer side, reaching the consumers, and the service people. Take a look at Yelp, right? Yelp represents how many different industries, how many different sectors. They don't know nothing about most of those things, but what they do know about is how to market and get the leads. And that is how they capitalize, right? I'm also on this platform. It's called Thumbtack. It's for like gig workers. I know me personally, I don't use it like a ton because we do well with SEO, but they charge you per lead that they send you. Okay. And I'm just in a little niche industry. So just imagine, like, I say the average is like, because I only want the big jobs. Okay. Not the little ones. I'd say it's probably like $20 a lead, right? So if I'm paying $20, once a week, and they market to thousands and thousands of business owners. Do you see what I'm saying here, JL? Like, you have such a huge thing, because this strategy that you have now been successful at, congratulations, this transcends beyond just the service that you're doing. You can apply this to literally any business. So I'm just so happy that you came up to share. Like, it just made me so happy. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And just real quick, I actually have a question, if you guys don't mind. And while I ask that question, if you, I'm hopefully nobody's skeptical, but if you want to see, I use Ahrefs. You can PTR to see what I'm talking about. That first listing on my PTR, that's the one that I care about the most. And again, you see, I'm number 8 there, and then you'll see a bunch of number 1s at the bottom. Now, can I ask that question? Or are you guys on time limit?
We got 2 minutes, but you can go.
Okay. Favor. So this is for anybody. Okay. So there's this, in a service industry, one of the best questions you want to rank number 1 at is, how much does this service cost? And I'm ranked number 1. All those number 1s are for the how much does the service cost? Okay. Those people are coming to me, but it just has the prices. I want to do something with that. I want to turn that cost potentially into a lead for my servicemen. But I'm not collecting any data. They're just coming, they're looking at it, and then they leave. And I'm assuming since I'm ranked number 1, maybe they don't have to go back anywhere, which is good. But if you were me, how might you consider turning that into a lead and capturing data? And if you want to think on it, I can come and ask it next time, because it's really important to me.
And can I just ask, Favor, do you have a call?
Dude.
Do you want me to keep the room open while you take your call? How long? I don't know. Got is it like a discovery call or quick call? Long call?
Long client call. So.
Okay. Yeah, we can end the room. I'm just cleaning up, so I have time. But if you need to end the room, because I know it's 1 minute, it's about to expire.
Part two. And before you say anything, Ducky, because I want to hear from you too before we go, JL, please click the link above, book a call with me. We're going to talk about this because a screenshot is great, but the strategy is where we're going to accelerate what you just asked, because I can answer the question and then, okay, here we go. But if that discovery call comes up and we talk about it, then we can now decide, okay, let's take 4 weeks to do this. Let's take 12 weeks to do this. And that way you can actually scale it up. That way we're not just guessing anymore, since you already know where you're in. And then we can start taking those things to the next level as well. So I would love to definitely take you on that. If that's okay with you, please click the link above. We can talk about it. And then we can make sure that that traffic you're just getting is not just wasted into traffic, but we can turn that traffic into leads, into revenue, into actual MRR, so that you can be able to build out that monthly recurring revenue that you want for your business. So let's talk about that, JL, for sure, if that's okay with you. And then I'll pass it to you, and then you can, speak up, Ducky, so we can talk about it and jump out of here.
One of the things is the reason a lot of people do not put in costs or how much it costs, because people that are asking how much it costs don't want to spend money, and they're looking for the best, cheapest deal. So it's a lot of waste of time. That's my experience with a lot of my service clients, and that's why I don't use those keywords.
No, good, Ducky. But what I'll say is, like, the industry I'm servicing, it's an emergency industry, so they don't have a problem. If they don't use it, then they're not gonna have a good.
They're asked out. That's what you mean.
Yeah, I love this industry. I'm so surprised it's underinvested, because they don't go search 2 or 3 people. No, the first 2 people they search, they're spending money at one of them. So once they land on you, you're in.
It's definitely a 1-2 punch, and we'll definitely bring a part 2 on this. That's what I'm thinking. If you guys want us to do a part 2, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you want us to do a part 2 on this. And I'll quickly say this before we go. When you look at these keywords, there are different average conversion rates. You can go to aioseo.com and check it out, or just do your research on this too. When you think about alternatives and competitor keywords, you have about 8.43%. When you think about versus comparison keywords, you have about 5.45%. When you think about main category keywords, which means target users searching directly for a service type, like you said, that's about 4.85%. If you're looking for best, blah blah blah, that's about 2.96%. So when people are thinking about best or cost, like Ducky's saying, of course they're not going to spend, but it depends on the industry you're in, because some industries have a higher potential, like let's say medicine, dental, compared to others where it could just be gardening or something that may not be super niche to the point where they're like, maybe I'll come back tomorrow. But those costs are very effective when you start thinking about those numbers. So yes, I see a 1 in the chat from Richard and a 1 from Celeste in the gift. So we'll definitely bring it back. I just needed one person to say that, and we can talk about this more. And then JL said a 1 in the chat too. So you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Before we do transactional keyword research or commercial part 2, we'll focus on part 2 first, and then we'll do transactional, which will be my last one, because I've done 4. I've done informational, I've done navigational, I'm doing commercial, and I guess we need a part 2 for this one. And I'm sure transactional might need a part 2 if we get there. So thank you, Celeste, for sharing this with us. JL, congratulations. Thank you so much, John, for being with us here today. Ducky, thank you for bringing that light to the room, because we always need that, especially when we hear conversations like this. So appreciate you for being here. Seth, Tracy, congratulations on that too. Richard, Opayami, Asim, Marina, Mr. Thank you for being here, Mr. Robot. Jawed, Hakeem, thank you for being here. Don Baya, Jimmy T, Kat, Who, Sam, K, Omar, Jenny, Matthew, Darkness. You guys, appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Yes, it's been a fire room, Celeste, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if we don't talk by the end of this week, if I'm not here by tomorrow, we'll definitely be here again. But be in the marketing club so you don't miss out on information like this. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next room. God bless you all. Stay out of trouble. Stay safe. Stay tuned. And we're going to see you guys in the next room. Bye for now.